Hi third graders, it's Mrs. Schultz and I am back in this video to finish up the drawing of the oil derrick to show you the next step in the process. So last time we were together we drew the derrick and the oil was gushing out of the top. Well, I don't want that to happen for very long. That's just getting the oil to come up out of the ground. After that, they will cap it inside the shed, and then this pipe will take the oil from the ground over to a place to store it. And that's called the storage tank. And we're going to build that storage tank now. So right next to the pipe, a little bit over, give yourself about a finger space, I'm going to put two walls, parallel walls, same size, same distance to start my tank. So put those two lines. Remember, if I start to go fast, we can always pause and catch up. Then the tanks were round, and as soon as you start drawing these, you're going to recognize them from seeing them in the hills. So I want this line to come around a little bit when it connects to this line. So make it round. And we're going to do the same thing up here on top. We're going to start at this point. We're going to make it round and come this way, but we're going to keep the same angle. We're going to bump it forward this way. So watch me. I'm going to make it look exactly the same as that one as best I can. Now we have that looking round, spherical. All right. All right, not spherical. Circular, circular. Spherical would be a ball. We want circular because it has straight sides, like a cylinder. It's a cylinder shape. All right, now we don't want the oil to be exposed to the sun or anything because that would just make it thicker and it actually would harden it and dry it out. So what we want to do is we want to put a low cap on it. So it's not going to be a big cap, it's going to be very low. But it's going to have a little hump in the middle and come back down. So a nice low cap. All right, now we need to build it out of a material. So what we're going to do is divide this area, this face, into thirds. And a third is 3 equal parts. So best I can, I'm just going to mark like that one, and that one are about the same size. And then I'm going to come over here and do the same. Try to make them about the same size with your pencil. And if they're not, if one's skinny, then this is the time to erase it and fix it. All right, now I'm going to continue with that curved line all the way across again and then touch the other side. So I'm going to go curve and touch, curve and touch. There we go. Okay, now these storage tanks were built out of metal plates. So say metal plates. And what they would do is they would put on a rectangular shaped metal plate and then they would bolt it to the next one. So I'm just going to put a couple bolts in each corner. Those are bolts and those are bolts. And then that one would be bolted to this one, which is about the same size. And I'd bolt it, bolt, bolt. Okay? And I'm going to do that again, about the same size, best I can. Bolt, bolt. Okay, now as I come to this edge, this one's too long. I'm going to need to make one out of this, but that's going to take me to the very edge, and that's okay because it's going around the corner. It's round. So I'm going to bolt this one down, but when I bolt this one down, I'm only going to see one side of it because the other side is around the corner. So just put 2 on that one to bolt it. All right, now we're going to continue to build. Now, they would do this in a brick pattern. And what a brick pattern does is it staggers. Stagger means you offset them. You set them a little differently in the next row. You come to the middle of the one on top, and that's where you start your next row. So I'm going to start my row there. And this one is wrapping around the corner, so I'm only going to see that side of it, right? So now I'm going to do it again. The next one is going to go right here, right in the middle of that one. Bolt it down. Again, come to the middle of this one and bolt it down. And these would all be the same, about the same size. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Come to the middle of this one, bring it down, and I'm going to bolt. And again, when you come to these edges, this one's pretty close, but maybe this one wraps around a little bit. I'm just going to put my dots on the side that I know I would be able to see. Maybe I can see that side because it's pretty similar, but yeah, we'll say it's wrapping around. All right, we're going to do that same pattern again. This time, though, as we come to the middle of this one, you're going to notice it's going to match this one. So see, as I come here, it's in the same place as my top one, but it is in the middle of the next one. That's our pattern. So the middle, the middle, the middle. I think it's about right there. And then bolt them down. And that one I had seen my bolts, so I should see my bolts on that one, that one, that one. All right, I'm going to finish up. Now they still use these type of storage tanks today to store oil. So as you go through the hills of Kalinga out towards going to Fresno or going to Hanford or Lemoore, you see these in the hills, and next to them could be those pumping units that your teacher will tell you about or that you've talked about during your draw-on label. Because once this has been drilled, actually, a pumping unit would be put in its place and the oil would be pumped out into the pipe. Now, let's do our pipe. This pipe needs to go into the storage unit, and often it comes up through the top, so we're going to go up, over, and down. Okay, do that with me. Ready? From the top line, up, over, down. And it's a nice thick pipe, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to draw that same shape. I have to bring it out a little bit, but I want my pipe to match this pipe. So I'm going to go up, over, and down. And then pipes are round, so we're just going to round the edge so that it looks like it's a real pipe. And then it can put the oil in there. So yeah, when you looked at that zebra and that giraffe pumping unit, think of this being gone, and then there can be a pumping unit, and that pumping unit pumps it into the storage tank. And the storage tank can have many pumping units feeding it. The hills of Kalinga have many, many miles of these pipes just running along the ground, and that's the oil going into storage tanks. Okay? All right, I just want to add one more fun fact. Now that you have a storage tank for all that great oil, and these are really big, my paper doesn't do it justice. Think of it much bigger than these when you see them out in the hills. But on our hills of Kalinga, so draw some hills back here, there is a letter C. Raise your hand if you have seen that letter C on the hills behind Kalinga where the oil fields are. All right, let's draw that in. I'm going to put it on this hill right here. So it's kind of a blocky C, so I'm going to come up and out. I'm going to come down. And I'm going to do the same thing here. So it's kind of almost a robot C. Now I want to make it thicker, so I'm going to come down. I'm going to put a line here and a line here. And I'm going to bring it back around and connect that inside. And what I want to share with you, my fun fact is, the letter C that we see on the top of the hill in Kalinga is made out of old metal plates from these storage bins. So when you go up there and visit it, if your family ever takes a walk up there to it, think of it as being a metal plate. So I'm going to put a line there and I'm going to put my rivets in. Rivet, rivet. Those bolts are called rivets. And then I can do it here next to it. It's made out of all these metal plates. Let's put another one in. And another. Until we're done. Let's have fun with it. It's actually made out of quite a few of them. So, it's made out of these metal plates. So when the sun is shining from this side, the sun shines on it. It shines. You can see it really good from Kalinga because it's shining, right? But when the sun goes behind it, maybe over here, and the hill is covering it and blocking it from the sun, it can actually disappear. Sometimes you cannot see the letter C on our hills, and that's because the sun isn't shining on it anymore. It looks magical, but it's actually just a shadow, an optical illusion of our sun. All right, boys and girls, that completes the drawing of this part of your drawn label. I hope you enjoyed doing it and enjoy the rest of the drawn label. Bye.